This is day 1 of Hytale's early access. In this video, I'll be going over my experience and observations I had with Hytale on day 1. This video will be broken down into segments so you can follow along a little easier. Starting with the first segment. First impressions. I jumped into the game with no knowledge of how any of the controls worked or how to progress in the game at all. The first thing I noticed was how smooth the game was running. I don't have the strongest PC in the world, but I was able to run the game while recording and streaming at the same time without any frame drops or lag issues. The other thing I noticed was how good the game looked. I really loved the graphics, and I found some screenshots other people took to show off how good the lighting could be. The tool progression was a little different to Minecraft in the sense that you don't start with mining a tree to create tools, you start with picking up rocks, sticks, and breaking bushes to craft your tools to get started. Overall, I don't think the beginning of the game, as of the early access, is too stressful for people who aren't regularly on games to progress. Early access and bugs. I did notice some bugs while I was playing in both single player and multiplayer, although I didn't find too many and they weren't really that game breaking and didn't dampen the fun I had while playing the early access. The early access has a lot of features missing that will be added in later updates, currently replaced with these work in progress signs. The game had over 2.8 million players active on day 1, and I feel like the early access was able to handle it really well. I've seen that other people were having problems with crashing early on, but I didn't have any issues in my games, and that was probably because the team already put out a hotfix on day 1 fixing some of the crashing issues. Overall, I think the early access was in very stable condition despite coming back from the grave. Learning curve. When I spawned in, I got familiar with the menus and the HUD. It didn't take too long to understand at all. To me, the gameplay feels like a mix of Minecraft and Gary's Mod. The sprint button being shift and the crouch button being control reminded me of a whole bunch of old Valve games. I tried to learn farming mechanics from scratch and I could not for the life of me understand the animal mechanics at all. I tried giving them wheat and cabbage, but I could not figure out how to make them grow up, and eventually the sheep despawned from my pen altogether, so I gave up and moved on. Crafting and mining were really simple and easy to learn, pretty similar to other survival games. You mine and you build better tools at the crafting table and move on. The combat is pretty unique, and I'm glad it's different from Minecraft because it has its own combat system and they could build off of it and add more weapons to make it feel even more unique down the line. Overall, I would say the learning curve is not that bad and it's pretty easy to learn for people who are new to games. Multiplayer. I spent a couple hours on an Anarchy server to see how the multiplayer ran, and I gotta say, it ran really well. My only issue was there's a slight delay when breaking blocks, but I can chalk that up to my ping being at 180 the entire time playing. As most Anarchy servers go, you can't trust anybody, and I relearned that the hard way as someone ran up to me and threw a sword in my face while I was building. While I was on the server, I learned how to build a simple house, nothing too complex, but I was still proud of it because it was the first house I've built in the entire game. After that, I decided to check and see how far down the mines go, and I was surprised by the fact that the further down you go into the mines, the harder the enemies get. I got down to a place that's similar to the Nether, but I kept dying to this frog monster that attacks you with his tongue, and it does a lot of damage. That's probably a skill issue on my part though. That was all the time I spent on the server, and I gotta say the multiplayer felt pretty good, and I'm surprised the early access even had multiplayer upon release. Final thoughts. Overall, I think the game launched in a very stable condition where the devs will be able to build off and grow from. And the game isn't too hard to learn with the mechanics being similar to other games, and I was impressed with how well the multiplayer ran. I'm excited to see other features being implemented over time and to see the development of the game as we get closer to a final product. And I can't wait to see the types of mods the fanbase will be able to create for the game as time goes by. And that's all I have for my first day playing the game. To end this video off, I just want to say that I feel like the early access was able to recreate the feel the first trailer had given us all those years ago. Have you played the early access yet? Did you like it? And did you experience any bugs or glitches while playing? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.